Have you ever loved someone so deeply, only to feel like your whole world fell apart when they walked away? Do you sometimes sit alone, wondering how someone who meant everything to you could just disappear like nothing ever happened? Why does heartbreak hurt more than any physical wound? Why does the heart break, even when we know everything is temporary? Imagine this. You plant a small tree, water it every day, give it sunlight, protect it from storms. But one day it withers. No warning, no reason. That's how love sometimes ends. You gave your everything, but now there's silence where once was warmth. That pain? It's real, and it feels like no one understands it. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a channel where deep pain meets deep wisdom. If you found this video, maybe it's not by chance. Maybe your heart needs to hear what Buddhism has whispered for thousands of years. You are not alone. You are not broken. And yes, you can heal. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. You never know who else might need this message, just like you do now. Heartbreak feels like the end, but Buddhism sees it differently. The Buddha taught that suffering is a part of life, not as punishment, but as a teacher. When love ends, it opens a doorway to self-understanding. It reveals our attachments, our hopes, our illusions. It shows us where we hurt and where we still hold on. Instead of fighting the pain, Buddhism invites us to sit with it, to breathe, to see, to listen. Just like the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree in silence, we too can sit with our pain, not to escape it, but to understand it. Slowly, without force, that understanding becomes the seed of peace. You don't need to pretend you're fine. You don't need to move on just because others say so. In Buddhism, emotions are not enemies, they're guides. A broken heart is not a weakness. It's a beginning, a soft place where wisdom can finally grow. Stay with us. Let this journey show you a new way to look at what you're feeling. Because this isn't just about heartbreak. It's about waking up, understanding suffering, why the Buddha never ignored heartache. Come, sit down. Let's not rush. When your heart is aching, you don't need more noise. You need stillness and someone to speak to your soul gently. That's why I'm here. Let's begin again, slowly. You see, many people think Buddhism is only about silence, meditation, or monks in orange robes. But it's not. It is about something very real, suffering, especially the kind that breaks your heart and leaves you questioning everything. The Buddha never ignored suffering. In fact, that's exactly where he started. The very first thing the Buddha taught after his awakening was this: there is suffering. He didn't say life is only happiness. He didn't promise you'll always get what you want. He simply looked at life honestly. He saw that everyone, even kings and warriors, feel sorrow. They lose loved ones. They feel lonely. They break down inside when no one is watching. And you? Yes, you too are walking through this deep valley. When the person you love the most walks away or hurts you, it feels like the earth beneath your feet is gone. Food loses taste. Laughter becomes fake. Sleep doesn't come. Even the sun shining feels wrong. But listen to this carefully. You are not weak because you feel pain. You are not foolish because you trusted. And your tears are not something to be ashamed of. In fact, according to the Buddha, your heart is showing you something very important: the truth of impermanence. Everything that begins also ends. This is not a punishment. This is nature. But let's go even deeper. When we fall in love, we build castles in our minds. We imagine forever. We hold on tightly. We want that person to stay the same, love us the same, never change. But people change. Feelings shift. Life moves forward. This is where suffering begins. Not from love, but from clinging to the illusion that love should never change. The Buddha said, what you cling to is what makes you suffer. Now, this doesn't mean you should never love. Love is beautiful, but love with open hands, not with chains. When you cling, you suffer. When you allow, you breathe. So what do you do with all this pain now? First, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, this hurts. That's not weakness. That's honesty. Pretending to be okay only hides the wound. But when you see it clearly, healing can begin. Second, Look at where your suffering is coming from. Is it the person leaving you? Or is it the hope that they would stay? Is it their silence? Or is it your story that says they should have cared? You see, suffering comes more from what we believe should happen than from what actually happens. Buddhism teaches us to ask gentle questions. Is this pain happening now? Or am I remembering something from the past and keeping alive? Memory is tricky. It repeats. It replays. It adds colors to things that are already gone. But reality is always in the now. And the now is usually simpler than the painful stories we tell ourselves. Let me give you an example. Imagine a child holding a balloon. They love the balloon. It's bright, it floats, it makes them smile. But suddenly, it slips from their hand. It rises into the sky. The child cries. They want it back. They scream, "Why did it go? Why didn't I hold tighter?" The sky doesn't answer. The balloon is gone. Now, what do we say to that child? It's okay. Balloons fly. It was beautiful while you had it, but it's time to let it go. In the same way, your heart is holding on to something that floated away. A relationship, a promise, a memory. But life says, let it go. You loved. That was beautiful. But now it's time to breathe again. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop hurting yourself with what's already over. You stop stabbing your own heart with the sharp knife of memory. The Buddha offered a deep truth called the second arrow. He said, when a person is struck by an arrow, it hurts. But when they're struck by a second arrow, the pain is doubled. The first arrow is the event. Someone left you, betrayed you, broke your trust. The second arrow is what you do with that pain. Your self-blame, your anger, your endless questions. So ask yourself, am I adding a second arrow? Am I stabbing my own soul with the thoughts, why me? Or, I was not enough? Let me tell you, you were always enough. Their actions don't reduce your value. Your love, your kindness, your loyalty, those are yours. No one can take that away. The Buddha didn't say, don't feel. He said, feel it, but don't become it. Pain is a visitor. Don't let it unpack and stay forever. Watch it, welcome it, learn from it, and let it pass, just like clouds in the sky. Now, if you feel like crying, cry, but cry with awareness. Be present with your tears. Let them fall without judgment. That too is meditation. That too is healing. Heartbreak is not the end of your story. It is the chapter where you learn what love really means, not just for others, but for yourself. You are learning to love yourself through loss, to walk through fire and come out softer, not burned. Sometimes heartbreak is the beginning of spiritual awakening. It strips away illusions. It makes you ask the big questions. Who am I without them? What do I really want from life? What does love truly mean? These questions, though painful, are the seeds of wisdom. And here's a secret. Many people start their spiritual journey after a heartbreak. Even the Buddha left his royal life, not because of joy, but because he saw suffering. That pain opened his eyes. Your pain can do the same. So today, take one step. Sit quietly. Breathe slowly. Let the pain rise and let it be. Don't fight it. Don't rush it. Don't push it away. Just sit with it like a gentle friend. Because once you stop running, the healing begins. You are not alone on this path. Every broken heart before you has walked it too. And each one found light again, not outside but inside. You will too. Not today, maybe, but it will come. That's enough for now. Close your eyes. Listen to your breath. One breath at a time, we move forward. One gentle thought, one act of kindness to yourself, one honest tear. That's all it takes. This is the way. The Buddha saw it. Now you're seeing it too. Keep walking. You're doing beautifully. The illusion of permanent love, clinging and letting go. Come closer. Breathe deeply. Let's not hurry, because broken hearts do not heal with speed. They heal with understanding. And understanding grows in silence, in stories, in truth. Let me begin with something honest. Love is one of the most beautiful things in life, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. When it breaks, it doesn't just hurt, it shakes everything. It feels like we've lost not just a person, but a part of ourselves. You might be asking yourself, if love was real, why did it end? Or, if we were meant for each other, how could they leave? These questions come from a place of deep pain. But they also come from a misunderstanding, the belief that love is supposed to last forever in the form we want it to. But my dear, nothing in this world lasts forever. Not even the most beautiful sunset. Not the strongest tree. Not even the breath you just took. Everything is moving. Everything changes. Everything ends. That includes relationships. Buddhism teaches this truth clearly. The word is anicca, impermanence. Everything that rises will fall. Everything that begins will end. This isn't a reason to be sad. It's a reason to love more purely, more freely, without clinging. Let me give you an image. Imagine you're holding water in your hand. If you close your fist tightly, trying to keep every drop, what happens? The water slips out, doesn't it? But if you hold your hand open gently, the water stays for a little while, resting peacefully in your palm. Love is like that. When you try to own it, control it, possess it, it escapes. But when you love with open hands, without fear, it rests softly in your life, even if only for a time. Most people confuse love with attachment. They say, I love you, but what they mean is, I want you to be mine forever, and I don't want you to change. But people do change. That's the nature of life. And when we don't accept that, we suffer. The Buddha taught that clinging leads to suffering. When we cling to a person, we create pain for ourselves. We start thinking, I can't live without them. I need them to feel whole. My life has no meaning if they're gone. But Zen wisdom says, you're already whole. No one completes you. You are not born half of a soul, looking for the other piece. You are a full soul, walking this earth. Love adds beauty to your journey, but it does not define your worth. Now, you may ask, but Zen Master, how do I stop clinging? How do I let go when my heart is still holding on? That's a wise question, and the answer is not to force yourself. Letting go is not pushing away. It's seeing clearly. It's understanding the truth of what is. Ask yourself gently, am I holding on to the person, or am I holding on to the idea of what could have been? Many times, we're grieving not just the loss of someone, but the loss of our own dreams, the imagined future, the shared memories, the plans we built. This imagined life becomes a ghost, and we cling to that ghost, hoping it will return. But ghosts do not live in the present. They live in our minds. So we must bring ourselves back to this moment, right here, right now, this breath, this silence, this truth. They are gone. The chapter is closed. The love, once real, has changed form. It has become a memory, and that is okay. Letting go is not forgetting. Letting go is remembering without pain. It is loving without needing. It is saying, thank you for the time we had. I release you now, and I release myself. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to be okay today, but take one small step. Notice how often your mind drifts to them. Notice the thoughts that say, if only, or maybe one day, and gently smile at those thoughts. Don't fight them. Just notice them like clouds in the sky. Let them pass. Let me share with you a little story from Zen tradition. There were two monks walking in silence. They came to a river where a woman stood, unable to cross. One of the monks picked her up and carried her across. Then they continued walking. Hours passed. Finally, the second monk said, "Why did you carry that woman? We're not supposed to touch women." The first monk smiled and said, "I set her down at the river. Why are you still carrying her?" You see, we often carry things long after they are gone. Not in our hands, but in our minds. We keep replaying conversations. We keep analyzing the past. We keep hoping for a different ending. But the past cannot be changed. It can only be understood. When you let go, you're not giving up. You're making space for peace, for healing, for something new. A broken heart is not a final wound. It is a doorway, a moment where life is inviting you to go deeper, to ask, what have I learned? How have I grown? What part of me needs more love, more kindness, more truth? The Buddha did not teach us to run from pain. He taught us to sit with it, to understand it, and to watch it dissolve, like morning mist when the sun rises. So sit, breathe, don't rush to forget them. Instead, learn from your love. What did it show you about yourself? What did it awaken in you? That part is still alive. That part is yours to keep. Remember, letting go doesn't mean pushing people away. It means loosening your grip. It means allowing what is already changed to remain changed. It means honoring the love for what it was without trying to pull it back into what it no longer is. You may feel empty now, but that emptiness is sacred. It's not a hole. It's a space, a quiet place where something new can grow. And when you're ready, fill that space with kindness, with patience, with deep breaths, with quiet mornings, with honest tears, with laughter when it returns. And it will return. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your loss. You are the space in which all things come and go. You are the open sky, not the storm. The pain will pass. Love will come again, maybe in new forms, maybe from unexpected places. But this time, you'll know, love is not about holding on. It's about being present. It's about freedom. It's about growth. So for now, rest in the truth. What is meant for you will come. What is not meant for you cannot stay. And in between, there is peace. You are doing well, dear one. Keep walking. Keep breathing. Let love flow through you, not control you. And most of all, learn to love yourself, not as a replacement, but as a foundation. From that love, all others will bloom. Karma and connection, why we meet and why we part. In our lives, people arrive and leave like seasons in a garden. Each meeting blooms like spring flowers. Each parting falls like autumn leaves. This cycle is not random. It follows the law of karma, the principle that every action, every intention shapes our experience. We meet some souls to learn, others to teach, and still others to help us grow into deeper understanding. Karma is often misunderstood as fate or punishment. In truth, it simply means cause and effect. When we speak kindly, we plant seeds of kindness that return as friendship and warmth. When we speak harshly, we plant seeds of hurt that return as pain. Relationships follow the same flow. Our past actions, whether in this life or before, bring certain people into our path. Sometimes a fleeting connection can feel like a fleeting breeze, barely noticed. Other times, a bond feels like a deep river, guiding us through joy and sorrow. The Buddha taught that both kinds of ties arise from our inner landscape. If our mind is bright with generosity, we attract gentle, caring people. If our mind is clouded by fear or anger, we may draw experiences that reflect those shadows. Think of two travelers on a winding road. They walk side by side for a while, sharing stories, laughter, and tears. Then the path forks. One goes left, the other right. That fork is karma. It brings change. It does not judge. It simply unfolds. We part ways, so each can follow the journey that our past choices have prepared us for. When your heart breaks because someone left, remember that their leaving was written long before today. It began in the silent intention of choices made by you, by them, by countless ripples of thoughts and actions. There is no villain in this story. There is only the natural flow of cause and effect unfolding in time. Imagine you drop a stone into a clear pond. Ripples spread out. They touch every shore. Similarly, every word you speak, every gesture you offer, sends ripples into the world. Some ripples return as loving companions. Others come back as painful lessons. Both kinds of ripples carry wisdom. We learn to welcome each ripple, knowing that it ripples again. Let me share a simple example. A woman decided to speak kindly to a stranger each morning. She offered a smile, a gentle greeting. After a time, she noticed new faces in her life, neighbors, coworkers, even old friends reaching out. But she also noticed that her heart felt lighter. That warmth she gave returned to her in small acts of kindness from others. Now consider the opposite. A man carried anger from a past hurt. He expected betrayal in every interaction. He spoke with suspicion. Soon, his friends drifted away, and strangers at work avoided him. His pain deepened. His karma created isolation. Only when he let go of his anger and forgave himself and others did new hands reach out to lift him up again. In Buddhism, we speak of skillful and unskillful actions. Skillful actions spring from compassion, generosity, and honesty. Unskillful actions arise from greed, hatred, and delusion. Each choice we make tilts the scales of our karma. Each kind word you whisper in the night, each moment you open your heart, these moments write the next chapter of your life story. When someone parts from your life, do not blame them or yourself. Instead, bow in gratitude for the time you had. That gratitude softens the heart. It frees you from bitterness. It plants seeds of generosity that bloom into new connections. You cannot force someone to stay, but you can choose to leave the door of your own heart open. In meditation, we learn to watch our intentions. We sit quietly and notice the currents of our mind. Thoughts of kindness, thoughts of anger, thoughts of fear. When we see an unkind thought, we do not judge. We simply acknowledge it and let it drift away. In that space, we plant new seeds, seeds of kindness and understanding. Over time, these seeds grow into the trees of our character. Some trees bear sweet fruits, gentleness, patience, joy. Others bear bitter fruits, anxiety, resentment, confusion. When we care for our inner garden with mindfulness, we invite caring people and loving experiences into our life. We also learn to understand why some trees must wither so we can plant new ones. It is natural to hold on to the idea that someone should be in our life forever. But Buddhism teaches that clinging creates suffering. When we cling to a person, we cling to a fixed idea of who they are. But people change, just as rivers flow and mountains erode. When we allow change, we free ourselves and others to follow their own path. Even parting can be an act of compassion. Sometimes we release someone because it is kinder to let them go than to hold them back. When we release with a gentle heart, we practice metta, loving kindness. We wish them well, even as we feel the pain of separation. This practice blesses both hearts with peace and understanding. Every parting is also an invitation. It invites you to look inward, to ask, what have I learned from this connection? How have I grown? Painful endings teach us humility, resilience, and grace. They remind us that life is a gift, not a guarantee, and they call us to awaken more fully to each precious moment. You may wonder, does karma mean I am doomed to repeat the same mistakes? Not all. Buddhism offers right effort, the power to change our karma in the present. When you notice unskillful thoughts or actions, you can choose differently. With each new choice, you rewrite your story. You create fresh ripples of kindness, honesty, and love. Healing from heartbreak is part of this transformation. When you feel pain, pause, breathe, notice the feelings. Acknowledge the story your mind is telling. Then, offer yourself a gentle question. How else can I see this? Often, the mind will offer a new perspective, a glimmer of understanding that shifts the current of your heart. As you practice, you'll discover that every heartache holds a hidden gift. Perhaps it teaches you deeper self-love. Perhaps it awakens your compassion for others who suffer. Maybe it shows you a new direction, a purpose you never saw before. Karma and connection are not just about meeting and parting. They're about learning to dance with life's ever-changing flow. Trust that your journey is guided by many unseen forces. Your own intentions, the intentions of others, and the wise unfolding of the universe. You cannot see every thread, but you can trust the tapestry will hold beautiful patterns, even if today all you see are loose ends. So, dear one, embrace each meeting as a blessing and each parting as a lesson. Tend your inner garden with care. Speak and act with compassion. Release what no longer serves you and welcome what awakens your soul. In this way, karma becomes a guide, not a burden. Your heart will learn to open and close with equal grace, and every step on your path will bring new understanding and peace. The art of sitting with pain, meditation for broken hearts. Come, sit beside me. Don't worry if your heart feels heavy. Don't worry if tears are close to your eyes. You don't need to hide anything here. We are not here to pretend. We are here to sit with the truth, just as it is. When your heart breaks, the first thing most people want to do is escape. Escape into distractions, into other people, into noise, or even into blame. But what if I told you that healing begins not by running away from your pain, but by turning toward it? Yes, I know, it sounds difficult. It might even feel impossible. Why would I sit with my pain when all I want is for it to go away? You may ask. The answer is gentle, because pain, when seen with compassion, softens. It reveals what it's truly asking for: your attention, your care, your quiet presence. Let me share something important from the Buddha's own story. Before he became the Buddha, he was a prince named Siddhartha. He left his palace not because he was unhappy, but because he saw the truth of suffering in the world. Old age, sickness, death, and heartbreak. He saw that no one escapes it. And so he sat under a Bodhi tree, not to run from suffering, but to understand it. That's what meditation is. It's not just closing your eyes. It's not trying to become blank or silent inside. No, meditation is the brave and gentle act of sitting with yourself, even when that self is hurting. Even when your thoughts feel sharp, even when your chest feels hollow, even when tears fall and your mind whispers, this pain will never end. When your heart breaks, your mind runs wild. It replays conversations. It imagines alternate endings. It looks for reasons for someone to blame or someone to bring back. But here's a truth the Buddha shared. The mind is like a monkey jumping from branch to branch, never still. And pain makes that monkey frantic. Through meditation, we don't silence the monkey mind. We simply watch it. We say, "Ah, there you go again." We don't get angry at our thoughts. We observe them. And as we observe them, something amazing happens. The thoughts lose their power. Let me guide you gently now through a meditation for heartbreak. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably. You don't need to sit like a monk. Sit how your body feels safe. Let your hands rest gently. Close your eyes if you feel okay. Now take a slow breath in and slowly breathe out. Feel your chest rise and fall. In this moment, don't try to stop your sadness. Just let it be. Name it quietly. This is sadness. Maybe it's grief. Say softly to yourself, "This is grief." Maybe it's anger. This is anger. Whatever you feel, give it a name without judging it. Now notice where it lives in your body. Is it in your chest, your throat, your stomach? Place your hand there gently. Breathe into that place. Imagine your breath is a warm light, touching the pain, holding it, not pushing it away. This is the art of sitting with pain. We usually try to fix pain like it's a broken object. But some pain is not to be fixed, it is to be felt. It is your heart asking you to be present, to stop running, to listen. Now, let the breath keep flowing, gentle and kind. Inhale, exhale. Each breath says, "I am here. I am safe. I am healing." If a memory comes, don't fight it. Let it rise like a cloud. Let it pass. Say, "This too is part of healing." Every memory that hurts is also a teacher. If a thought comes like, "Why did they leave me?" or "I'm not enough," say gently, "This is a thought." That's it. You don't need to argue with it. You don't need to believe it. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching your thoughts. In time, with practice, you will see that thoughts are like birds. They come, they sing, and they fly away. The more you try to catch them, the more restless they get. But when you sit quietly, they settle. Meditation for a broken heart is not about forgetting the person. It's about remembering yourself. It's about returning to the one who has been with you through every rise and fall. You. Buddhism teaches us to be compassionate, not just toward others, but toward ourselves. So ask yourself, how can I show kindness to myself today? Maybe it's a warm meal. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's speaking gently to yourself for the first time in weeks. You deserve your own kindness. You've carried a heavy weight. You've survived sleepless nights. You've cried into silence. Don't you see how brave that is? In Zen, we say, "Sit quietly, do nothing. Spring comes, and the grass grows by itself." Healing is like that. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You just need to sit with the pain, breathe with it, and not abandon yourself. Now, take another breath. Let the old go. Let the new come. You are ready. You are walking in wisdom now. One breath at a time. Forgiveness, the gift you give yourself. Cool me. Sit again with me. I know your heart is still aching. I know the pain has not yet faded fully. But today, let us speak about something very soft and yet very powerful: forgiveness. When someone you loved hurts you, leaves you, betrays your trust, or simply disappears from your life, the heart doesn't just break. It becomes heavy, heavy with questions, heavy with anger, heavy with pain that keeps returning again and again. Why did they do that? How could they say those things? Why didn't they understand my love? Why didn't they stay? These questions are natural. They rise in almost every broken heart. And each time they rise, they bring a new wave of suffering. But there's a path that leads out of that suffering. It's not an easy path, but it is a healing one. And that path is called forgiveness. Now wait. Before your heart pushes back, before your mind says, I cannot forgive them, let me gently explain what forgiveness really is. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was right. Forgiveness is not pretending you weren't hurt. Forgiveness is not about them at all. It is about you. Forgiveness is the gift you give yourself so that you're no longer chained to the pain of the past. Let me ask you something gently. Have you ever carried a heavy bag on your back for a long walk? At first, maybe you didn't mind, but as the path got longer, the weight felt heavier. You began to ache. Your shoulders hurt. Your steps became slower. Wouldn't you want to put that bag down? Holding anger, blame, and resentment is just like carrying that heavy bag. At first, you think you need it. You think, this pain proves I was right. It protects me from being hurt again. But soon, it starts to hurt you more than it protects you. And forgiveness is simply the act of putting down the bag. Not because the journey is over, but because you're tired of carrying something that no longer serves you. In Buddhism, we say holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The one who suffers the most from your anger is you. You may think, but Zen Master, if I forgive them, doesn't that mean I let them go easily? No, forgiveness is not about letting them go easily. It's about freeing yourself. You're not saying, what they did is okay. You're saying, I don't want this pain to live inside me anymore. Some people think forgiveness must be sudden, dramatic, loud. But true forgiveness is often quiet, soft. It begins in silence. It begins with understanding. So let us begin together. Close your eyes if you feel safe. Take a breath in, a long, slow breath out. Feel your chest rise and fall. Now imagine the person who hurt you. Maybe it's someone you loved deeply. Maybe someone who disappeared without reason. Maybe someone who promised never to hurt you, but did. You don't need to talk to them. You don't need to fix anything. Just see them in your mind. And now, whisper this to yourself, not to them. I was hurt. It's okay to feel hurt. But I will not carry this pain forever. I forgive, not for them, but for me. I choose peace. At first, your mind may resist. That's okay. Forgiveness is not a switch you flip. It's a door you gently open again and again, each day. Some days, you may feel forgiving. Other days, you may feel angry again. This is part of the process. Healing is not a straight line. It's a slow dance. One breath forward, one memory back, one small step at a time. Let me share with you a story. There was a woman who was abandoned by her beloved after many years of love. He left without goodbye. At first, she cried every night. She hated him. She blamed herself. She broke in silence. But slowly, she began to sit quietly each morning. She breathed with her pain. She didn't fight it. She didn't push it away. And one morning, she whispered, I forgive him. Not because he came back. Not because he said sorry. But because she was tired of bleeding from a wound that was no longer open. From that day, her heart began to lighten. Her smile returned, not for him, but for herself. This is the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean you must reconnect with the person. Sometimes, forgiveness is saying goodbye without bitterness. It's walking away with grace. It's letting go of the rope you've been pulling so hard that it has left marks on your hands. And yes, forgiveness is not only about others. Sometimes, the one we must forgive is ourselves. We say, I should have known better. I should not have trusted them. I was foolish. But listen closely. You loved with an open heart. That is not foolish. That is brave. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now that you know more, you will love differently. Not less, but more wisely. So forgive yourself. Whisper softly, I forgive myself for not knowing. I forgive myself for holding on. I forgive myself for being human. You are not weak because you hurt. You are strong because you're healing. And healing happens faster when the heart stops trying to punish itself. Each breath you take with forgiveness is a breath that makes space for peace. Each act of letting go creates room for something new love, new joy, new lightness. So take your time. Sit with your pain, but don't let it become your home. Let it pass through you like the wind. Forgiveness is not a destination. It is a practice. Just as you brush your teeth daily, wash your body daily, wash your heart daily with understanding, compassion, and release. When a memory returns, smile gently and say, "Yes, that happened. It hurt, but I no longer live there. I've moved on." That is strength. That is wisdom. And over time, you will see that forgiveness is not weakness. It is a power that only the brave carry. So sit with your breath. Sit with your truth. Let the pain rise. Let it fall. Let it pass. Forgive. Slowly. Softly. Fully. Because you deserve peace. Because you deserve light. Because your heart is ready to breathe again. And I will sit with you as many times as you need until the burden is lighter and your soul can smile once more. Embracing self-love, the true healing power. Come, sit with me again. Let us talk about something very important. Something that might feel strange when your heart is hurting, but is also the greatest medicine of all, self-love. When your heart breaks, it's easy to forget yourself. You may think, "I am not enough. I am unlovable. I must fix myself before I can be whole." These thoughts creep in quietly and hold you prisoner. But listen closely. Your worth is not defined by who stayed or who left. Your value does not shrink because love was lost. You are whole right now, just as you are. In Buddhism, we say metta, loving kindness, not just for others, but for ourselves. This is not selfishness. It is the foundation on which all healing stands. Imagine your heart as a small garden. When someone leaves, it feels like the flowers have died. But the garden is still there, waiting to be cared for. Self-love is the watering, the sunshine, the gentle tending that brings new life. How do we practice this self-love? It begins with kindness. Speaking to yourself as you would speak to a dear friend. When your mind says, "I'm broken," respond softly, "You are healing." When your heart whispers, "I'm alone," say gently, "You are not alone. You are with yourself." When fear rises, remind yourself, "I am safe in this moment." Start small. Maybe it is giving yourself permission to rest. Maybe it is taking a quiet walk in nature. Maybe it is writing down 3 things you appreciate about yourself, even if they seem tiny. You might feel unworthy of this love right now. That is okay. Just like a seed does not question the sun, you do not need to question your worthiness. It is there always. Many broken hearts think the pain means they are flawed. But pain does not equal flaw. It equals being human. The Buddha said that all beings deserve love and kindness, including yourself. When you begin to treat yourself with compassion, you begin to heal the wounds left by others. The cracks in your heart become places where light can enter. You might wonder, how can I love myself when I feel so lost? The answer is simple, one small act at a time. Let me tell you a story from Zen tradition. A young monk was struggling with his feelings of loneliness. One day, the master gave him a mirror and said, "Look carefully. Who do you see?" The monk looked and saw his own tired, sad face. He frowned. The master said, "That face needs your kindness, not your judgment." From that day, the monk began to practice kindness toward himself. He spoke gently to his reflection every morning. "You are enough. You are loved." Slowly, his loneliness softened. You can do the same. Self-love is not about vanity or selfishness. It is about acceptance. Accepting yourself with all your imperfections, all your fears, all your past mistakes. It is about embracing the part of you that feels broken and saying, "I see you. I hold you with love." This practice will not erase your pain instantly, but will give your heart a safe place to rest. You may find that when you love yourself, you no longer seek love from others as a lifeline. You start to feel whole on your own. And from this wholeness, love flows more freely. Self-love teaches you boundaries. It shows you when to say no to what harms you. It guides you to nurture what heals you. When your heart is broken, the world might feel like a cold place. But when you turn inward with kindness, you discover a warm refuge inside yourself. Buddhism tells us that true peace comes from within, not from outside approval or possession. No one can take away your self-love unless you give it away. So begin today. Look in the mirror. Smile softly. Say, I love you. Even if it feels strange, say it anyway. Write a letter to yourself, full of compassion and encouragement. Take time to do something that brings you joy, no matter how small. When negative thoughts arise, challenge them with kindness. Remember, your heart is your home. Treat it gently. The road to healing is not straight or quick. It is winding and slow, filled with moments of doubt and moments of hope. But each time you choose to love yourself, you take a step toward freedom. One day, you will look back and see how far you have come, and you will know that no heartbreak could ever break the love you hold for yourself. That love is your true strength. It is the seed from which all joy grows. So breathe deeply now. Feel your heart beating. Feel your breath moving. Know that you are worthy. You are whole. You are enough. And that is the most beautiful place to begin again. The present moment is all you truly have, healing by living now. Come, dear one. Come sit beside me. Let the world slow down for a little while. Let your thoughts quiet in like dust settling after a long storm. Today, I want to speak with you about something very simple, yet so powerful that it can change everything. It is the present moment. Yes, this very moment you are in right now. This breath, this heartbeat, this space. This is where your healing begins. When the heart is broken, the mind begins to wander far. It runs backward into the past, into old conversations, mistakes, lost dreams. It says, if only I had said this. If only they had stayed. Why did it happen this way? And then it jumps forward into the future. It worries. What if I never find love again? What if this pain never ends? What will happen to me now? The mind does not like to stay still, especially when we are hurting. It runs everywhere, trying to escape pain. But in doing so, it often brings more pain. Why? Because the past is already gone, and the future is not yet born. Only the present is real. Only now is truly here. Only now can you breathe, feel, choose, and heal. The Buddha taught that life is like a river. It flows only forward. You cannot step in the same water twice. Clinging to the past is like trying to hold the wind. Worrying about the future is like staring at a locked door. But the present moment? The present is wide open. Let's pause and feel it together. Close your eyes if that feels safe. Take a deep breath in and slowly, gently breathe out. Feel the air touching your nose. Feel your chest rising, your belly softening. In this very moment, there is no yesterday. There is no tomorrow. There is just this breath, this stillness, this presence. Let that sink in. You are safe here. You are alive here. You are not your thoughts. You are not your past. You are the one watching it all, like a sky watching the clouds pass. When your heart is broken, your thoughts become louder. They try to make sense of what happened. They want answers. But most of the time, those answers don't come. Or if they do, they don't take away the pain. That's because pain doesn't live in the story. It lives in your resistance to what is. So instead of chasing explanations, practice just being here. Not solving, not fixing, just breathing, just sitting, just feeling. This is what we call mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't mean you have to sit on a mountain or chant for hours. It means you bring your attention fully to now, to the sip of tea, to the sound of birds, to the feeling of tears on your cheeks, to the touch of your own hand on your chest. It means you stop running from this moment and you begin living in it. Let me tell you a little story. Once, a man came to the Buddha with great sorrow. He said, "My life is filled with pain. My heart is always troubled." The Buddha listened and asked, "Where are you now?" The man said, "What do you mean? I'm here." And the Buddha replied, "Yes, but your mind is in the past and in the future. It is everywhere except this very moment. Come back to now, and you will see suffering lives in the mind stories. Peace lives in the present. So the man began to practice sitting quietly each day. At first, his thoughts screamed louder. But slowly, gently, he began to notice the breath, the feeling of his feet on the ground, the warmth of the sun. And in these tiny moments, peace began to return. You can do this too. When the ache of loss comes, sit quietly. Don't fight it. Say to yourself, this is sadness, and I am breathing with it. Let the breath anchor you. When the memory of them returns, like an echo from another time, don't chase it away. Say gently, that was then. This is now. When fear comes knocking, don't push it away. Say softly, yes, I see you, but I am here. I am safe. This is the way of the awakened heart. The present moment is not a place of escape. It is the place of truth. And in truth, there is peace. There is healing. There is life. Everything you need is already here. Not in what you lost, not in what may come, but in this breath, in this step, in this smile, in this tear. Even the sorrow you feel now, it is real and it is passing. Like a wave, like a cloud. It is not permanent. Nothing is. The more time you spend in the present, the less you suffer. Why? Because suffering often comes not from the pain itself, but from the stories we tell about the pain, the judgments, the expectations, the regrets. The present moment does not judge. It just is. It welcomes you with open arms. So sit with it. Walk with it. Wash your hands with full awareness. Eat your food slowly, tasting each bite. Watch the leaves dance in the wind. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Each of these things can become meditation. You do not have to do anything special. You only need to be. Breathe in. You are here. Breathe out. You are healing. The more you practice this simple return to now, the stronger your heart becomes, the lighter your steps become. And soon, without forcing it, joy returns, not as a loud celebration, but as a quiet smile. The smile of someone who has made peace with what is. Let me remind you, you are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you are meant to be, here in this moment. And from this moment, anything is possible. You can begin again. You can feel again. You can love again. But for now, simply breathe. Let the thoughts come. Let them go. Let the feelings rise. Let them pass. Like waves. Like wind. Like clouds in a wide sky. You are the sky. Everything else is weather. And the sky is always at peace, even when it storms. So come back again and again to this breath. This now. This heartbeat. This miracle of being alive. The past is a memory. The future is a dream. But now is where life happens. And your healing, dear one, is already unfolding right here, right now, in this sacred, silent, spacious moment. Don't search outside. Peace begins within you. Cool me. Let's sit again together. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath deepen. You've carried enough today. Let the noise of the world fall away, even for just a few minutes. You are safe now. And I want to talk to you about something that is often forgotten in times of heartbreak. Peace does not come from the outside. It begins within you. I know when someone leaves or when your heart breaks, it feels like the peace you had is stolen. Like they took something from you that you cannot get back. Like your calmness, your happiness, your center was tied to their presence. And now that they're gone, everything feels empty. Quiet but not peaceful. Still but not calm. You search for answers in your memories. You look for distractions. You scroll through pictures. You stare at messages. You even imagine them walking back into your life and think, if they come back, I'll feel okay again. But dear one, can I share something with you softly? They were never the source of your peace. Yes, they may have brought joy. They may have made you smile, feel seen, feel loved. But the deepest peace, the kind that doesn't depend on anyone or anything, that peace was never outside you. It was always yours. The problem is we forget. We forget who we are. We forget our own light. We forget that our heart, even when broken, still beats, still breathes, still contains the calmness of the entire sky. Buddhism teaches us that the world outside is always changing. People come, people go. Situations rise, they fall. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is permanent. So if we tie our peace to something that moves, we will always be pulled with it. But when we root ourselves within, when we build our calmness from our own breath, our own truth, our own stillness, then no one can take it away. Not even the one who broke our heart. Let's do a little practice together now. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Now say softly in your heart, peace is not out there. Peace is in me. Even if I'm hurting, peace can live beneath the hurt. Imagine your pain like waves on the surface of the ocean. And imagine peace like the ocean floor, deep, quiet, untouched. The waves may roar above, but beneath it all, there is stillness. That stillness is who you really are. When you stop chasing peace in someone else, you begin to discover your own. And what a beautiful peace that is. It does not depend on text messages. It does not depend on being chosen. It does not depend on being understood. It simply is, like the breath, like the stars, like the quiet hum of life beneath all things. Yes, when your heart breaks, it feels like you've lost your center. But that center is never lost. It's just covered. Covered by grief, by memory, by longing. But underneath, it waits patiently. Let me tell you something I've seen in many people who've come to me in tears. When they stop searching outward and start sitting quietly, they begin to shine. Their eyes soften. Their voice steadies. Their body relaxes. Because they've finally come home to themselves. You see, no one can love you better than you can love yourself. No one can understand your pain better than your own stillness. No one can give you lasting peace. Only you can give that to yourself. Peace is like a lamp inside your chest. You don't have to build it. You only have to turn toward it. And it lights up everything from within. Don't worry if you feel lost right now. Feeling lost often comes before we find ourselves. The pain you're feeling is not the end. It is the beginning of something deeper. Pain wakes us up. It pulls us away from illusions. It says, come back. Come home. Return to your breath. Return to your body. Return to now. You are not alone in your pain, but you are also not alone in your ability to heal. Right now, maybe all you can do is sit quietly and breathe. That is enough. Every time you breathe with presence, you return to your true self. Every time you stop searching and start feeling, you step into peace. Every time you release the need to fix the past, you create space for peace now. You don't need perfect answers. You don't need all the solutions. You just need to remember that peace was never out there. It was always inside. I want to share a simple teaching from Zen. A cup that is already full cannot be filled. Empty your cup and let the present moment pour in. Empty yourself of the story. Empty yourself of the should-haves and what-ifs. Empty yourself of the past that's already gone. And into that empty space, let peace settle. Let breath settle. Let life enter again. You are not broken. You are becoming clear. You are not abandoned. You are returning to yourself. You are not without peace. You are awakening to a deeper peace than you've ever known. So stop searching. Stop running. Stop trying to control what cannot be controlled. Just be. Just breathe. Just let your presence be enough. And you'll find that what you've been searching for has been here all along. In your stillness. In your silence. In your breath. In your beautiful, open, healing heart. And from that heart, peace will rise. Not loud, but steady. Not sudden, but true. And it will guide you home again and again and again. Letting go doesn't mean you forget. It means you're free. Cool, mate. Sit beside me one more time. You've walked far with your pain. You've held so much in your heart. Some days, it's like a storm inside you. Some nights, you wake up with memories that refuse to rest. The questions still come. Why did this happen? Why did they leave? Why couldn't I make it work? Why can't I stop thinking about it? And I will tell you today, gently and slowly, that you're not wrong for feeling any of this. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're simply human. And humans carry pain the way rivers carry rain. They don't choose it, but they learn how to flow with it. Today, let's talk about something that's been whispering in your heart for a long time. It's the word you keep hearing, but maybe can't yet accept. Letting go. Yes, that phrase can feel like a sharp wind when you still love, when you still hope, when you still wait for a return. But let me tell you something clearly. Letting go does not mean you forget. Letting go does not mean you never cared. Letting go does not mean it didn't matter. Letting go simply means You're choosing freedom over attachment to what no longer brings peace. Letting go is an act of love, not only for them, but especially for yourself. Imagine you're holding a rope. On the other end, someone is pulling. It hurts your hand. It burns your skin. But still you hold on. You say, if I just hold a little longer, maybe they'll pull me close again. But they keep pulling away. Letting go is not weakness. It's when you finally say, I've hurt long enough, and you open your hand. Not to punish, not to win, but to heal. Your heart cannot breathe when it's full of resistance. Letting go is the moment when you stop begging for explanations and start giving yourself comfort. It's when you stop asking, why did they stop loving me? And start saying, I will love myself even if they don't. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. But attachment doesn't mean love. It means clinging to what we cannot control. Love is spacious. Love is free. Love is kind. Attachment is tight. Attachment is afraid. Attachment says, I need this or I will break. But you won't break. You will bend. You will cry. You will ache. But you will rise. When you let go, it doesn't mean the memories vanish. No, some will stay like soft echoes. You may still miss them sometimes. That's okay. Missing doesn't mean returning. It means you felt something real. Letting go means you choose to live in the present, not the past. You choose to stop replaying the last words. You choose to stop checking your phone for a message that never comes. You choose to stop comparing your worth to someone else's actions. You choose you. And when you choose you, something magical happens. The mind begins to clear. The breath begins to deepen. The body begins to rest. The soul begins to shine again. Let it go is not about becoming cold or bitter. It's about becoming light again. Have you seen a tree in autumn? It lets go of its leaves, not because it hates them, but because it knows that new ones will come. It trusts the seasons. Can you trust your season too? Can you trust that this end is not the end of your joy, but the beginning of your return to peace? In Buddhism, we practice something called non-attachment. It does not mean we don't love. It means we don't cling. We love fully in the moment, and we let go when the moment changes. We hold a bird in our hands gently. We do not trap it. We allow it to fly when it must. That is real love. You loved, and that love has already done its work. It taught you. It changed you. It awakened parts of you. But now, the lesson is complete. And your new lesson is peace. So how do we let go, Zen Master? I hear you. We let go in small steps. You do not have to forget them in one day. You do not have to stop missing them all at once. You only have to begin walking in a new direction. Start by breathing. Start by saying to yourself, I am ready to return to myself. Write their name on paper, and then write, I set you free. Light a candle. Cry if you need to. Speak to the sky. Say goodbye, not in anger, but in gratitude. Thank them for the moments that were real. Thank them for the lessons. Thank them for showing you what your heart is capable of. And then begin again. The road ahead may feel empty, but slowly, step by step, you will fill it with your own presence. You will decorate your life with peace, with stillness, with laughter that comes from within. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, you will think of them and smile. Not because you won them back, but because you know you survived. You healed. You bloomed. Letting go is not forgetting. It is remembering who you are without the pain. Letting go is not erasing. It is making space for something new. Letting go is not saying they didn't matter. It's saying you matter too. So breathe again now. Breathe deeply. Let the breath carry away what no longer serves you. You're not lost. You're not empty. You're not unlovable. You're full of life. You're full of light. You're already free. The chain was never locked. The door was always open. You just forgot, for a little while, how to walk through it. Now, dear one, walk. Walk into the new chapter. Walk into the unknown. Walk toward yourself. And with each step, whisper, I let go. I am free. And peace will follow you, like a soft wind through a quiet forest. Always near. Always within. Always yours. You are not alone. This is the beginning, not the end. Come just one last time. Sit beside me. Let your heart rest. Let your breath slow. You've walked far. Through pain. Through loss. Through silence. Through long nights and heavy mornings. And yet, Here you are, still breathing, still hoping, still healing. This is not the end of your story. This is the part where you finally begin again. Yes, I know, your heart has been broken. I know how it felt to love with everything you had and still be left behind. I know how you sat in the silence, waiting for a message that never came. I know how you kept reading old texts, revisiting memories, playing old songs because they still held pieces of you. I know how it felt when the world moved on, but you didn't. But listen closely now. This is the most sacred truth I can offer. You're not alone. Not now. Not ever. Every heart that has loved has also hurt. Every person you see smiling today once sat in tears yesterday. And yet they made it. And so will you. Because heartbreak does not mean you're broken. It means you're human. It means you cared. It means your heart was open enough to feel. And that, my dear one, is not weakness. That is strength. In Buddhism, we say, the lotus grows from the mud. It blooms not in clear water, but in the dirt, in the dark, in the mess. That flower becomes beautiful because of the mud, not in spite of it. Your pain is not something to be ashamed of. It is something that will grow your compassion. It will soften your soul. It will teach you how to sit with others in their darkness, because you've been there too. You've walked through a storm. But look, your feet still touch the earth. Your breath still rises and falls. Your heart still beats. You have survived what you thought would end you. And now it's time to live. Not rush. Not forget. Not deny what happened. But to live again. From a deeper place. A gentler place. A wiser heart. Let yourself breathe into this new beginning. You do not have to have all the answers. You do not need a perfect plan. You just need to take one step, then another, then another. Some days you will feel full of strength. Some days you will feel like crying again. Both are okay. Healing is not a race. It is a returning to yourself, to your breath, to this moment. Let the past rest now. Let the questions fall silent. Let the regrets fade into dust. You did the best you could with what you knew. You loved with your whole heart, and that's a beautiful thing. Now it's time to love yourself with that same depth. Look at yourself in the mirror and say softly, I'm proud of how far I've come. I am learning to trust life again. I deserve peace. Do not rush to find someone new. The world is not in a hurry, and neither should you be. What you need now is not a replacement. What you need is reconnection with your soul. Take walks. Sit under the sky. Drink your tea slowly. Speak kindly to yourself. Let life slowly show you its beauty again. Let the small things make you smile. The sunlight on your face. The laughter of a stranger. The sound of wind through trees. Each of these moments is a whisper from life, saying, come back. It's safe now. And when the grief returns, as it sometimes will, don't be afraid. Welcome it like an old visitor. Sit with it. Listen to it. And let it go when it's ready. You are no longer running. You're no longer clinging. You're simply being. And that is enough. Remember what you've learned on this path. You learned that your worth does not come from someone else's love. You learned that peace lives inside you, not in another person. You learned that letting go is not forgetting, but becoming free. You learned that your heart can break and still beat with strength. Now you walk forward. Not the same person you were, but a fuller one. A softer one. A wiser one. A truer one. And if one day love comes again, you will not cling. You will not fear. You will love with presence, with peace, with joy, not desperation. Because now you know you're already whole. And even if love never arrives from another, you will not lack anything. You are your own peace. You are your own home. Take this truth with you. You are enough. You are strong. You are love. You're already free. And now, before you go, hear this final whisper from me, your Zen companion. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe.